Picture this, a recording studio somewhere far, far away.
Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion. It's the 2nd of February 2021. Can't believe we're already a month down for this year. So I'm looking at Brick Rick today on the Amstrad. I did promise you a homebrew game, and here it is. And yes, look at it. Isn't it great to see games for old systems coming out so many years after their prime? I think we say prime, but you know what? These games are looking a lot better than they did back in the day, aren't they? But you know what? That's because people are actually figuring out that the machines were capable of so much more. So when you think back in that respect, the designers of these computers and consoles and stuff, they didn't really... I mean, they must have been geniuses, really, because they made this hardware and people didn't utilise it. I wonder if they actually realised that at the time. They're like, oh, well, they haven't really made use of this machine properly. It's capable of so much more. Or did they just not ever think that their machines could do what they can do today? But there we are. I mean, this is on Amstrad hardware. It's very, very easy to play. You can download it from the developer's website. And it's I think you name your own price. Go and support, because this game's fab. Anyway, we're going to crack on. So basically, you take the control of Rick there, and these aliens have come down to steal his coffee. And the idea is basically to clear the screen of any aliens. And the way you do that is to throw a brick at them. Yes. So you throw a brick at them first, and then it stuns them. From there, you just run into them, and they sort of bounce around the walls, stunning other aliens in their path. The stun doesn't last forever, so make sure that you're refreshing your stuns with the bricks, and then just push them, which is just walking into them. So that's a really easy concept, and it works ever so well. So it's great to see another Amstrad game out on the in the modern day era, really, isn't it? I think this game was released last year, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to be going through as much as I can during this review, so you can get a good idea of what it's about. And if you like the look of it, go and grab it. I'll pop a link in the description for you guys, so you can go and get it for yourself. Works on Amstrad hardware and also emulation. So whichever way you want to look at it, you've got no excuse not to play. So there we are. So I'm going to look at it graphically first. It's really quite nice. The colours pop, but they always did on the Amstrad, sort of. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's got a unique look, the Amstrad, hasn't it? The way that the graphics are, the way that the colours are used, it's a very, very, you can tell it's Amstrad, is what I'm trying to say. And you'd think that the Spectrum and Amstrad would have had very, very similar graphics, and in some games they did, because they were just ported from each other. But in this case, it's pure Amstrad. Yes. So how many of you actually had Amstrads at school? I know that my friend did. I was a Spectrum guy, and my friend had an Amstrad, and we were always playing the Dizzy games together on those. And it was great fun, because we could always see the differences in each other's game, although the game was the same. So it was nice, because we were able to compare notes and have you found this coin? Have you done this? Have you solved this puzzle? And that's a really nice thing about having a Spectrum and Amstrad, even a C64. They all looked different, but the games were practically the same. I know the C64 had a few variations that were different, but at the same time, it was just nice. That's what brought us together as kids, you know. And these days, it's all about mobile phones and everything else. This is why retro gaming sticks in our minds so much. And that promotion was brought to you by oldfogies.com. Right, so I don't know if that's an actual web address, by the way. Please don't go and look it up, because I'm not sure you'll like what you find, just in case. Anyway, yeah, so we've got nice animations. We've got nice clear colours. The main sprites are really, really nice. And they look like little cartoon aliens that you'd see in like a Warner Brothers production or something like that, which is really great. I like the way they spawn as well. They sort of teleport in, so to speak. And sorry, still chuckling over oldfogies.com. Anyway, so yeah, you knock them dead, so to speak, and then you can go and pick up the coffee that they drop. So that's great. And you can see the score up in the top left. You've got your lives represented by Rick's head. And then you've got the score, a time limit, and then your stages that you're on at the moment. So, for example, on stage 7 now. Yes, there's a time limit, so you are against the clock. So basically what you've got to do is you've got to clear the screen before the timer's up, and the game gets progressively harder. So the timer becomes a lot more difficult to beat. So, you know, there's times where you're going to be like down to the wire, and yeah, but that makes the game a challenge, which is great, because it's just not a simple step in, you know, and oh, it's all right, don't have to worry about the timer. But yeah, it works. It works. Some games the timer can be a little bit vicious. In this case, it's more of a case of you have to be a bit more carefully planned with your steps, because the aliens can go up and down the platforms just as much as you can. See, I'm gone 1 second and level complete. That's what I mean, right down to the wire. So yeah. If you like a challenge and you like a good game, this has got it all for you. And if you're a platform fan, even better. Now, the little green aliens that you can see there actually have the capability of shooting you. So be careful getting into range with them, because yes, they will one-shot you. If you collide with any aliens or their bullets, then it is a one-hit death. The dynamite there stuns everything on the screen at once, which is quite useful in times. So if you see it, grab it, because power-ups don't last for a long time. Now, the only power-up I've seen so far is the dynamite, which obviously is a screen stun. I don't think there's any others, but I could be wrong. Maybe there are later in the game. But we're going to go through a few levels here so you get a good idea of what's going on. Sound-wise is great as well. Really like the music, and the sound effects are quite nice in this game as well. And again, it's like, wow, would this actually run on Amstrad? Yes, it does. So there we are. Absolutely brilliant concept, and it's very reminiscent of things like Snow Brothers and Rodland, that sort of game. Very inspired by that, I would say, because of the way that you dispatch your enemies. Oh, game over. Okay, that's fine. We'll carry on. We'll do another. Don't worry. So yeah, you've also got joystick, keyboard, and redefine your keys. So you've got a plethora of options there for your control scheme as well. Now, talking of controls, it's left, right, up and down. It's up to jump, and you've got fire, which throws bricks. Your bricks are infinite, so you ain't got to worry about running out. Just enjoy throwing them at the aliens, but make sure you keep an eye on that timer. So there we are. Playability-wise, well, it's just, well, yeah. I mean, you can see in front of you. Use your eyes. It's great. And the levels work really well as well. The stage design all works really nicely. The difficulty ramps up quite nicely. It doesn't suddenly poo all over your face. But you've got to be careful with taking it for granted, because you don't want to be doing that. Yes, it throws curveballs at you sometimes. So just be aware that it's not. It doesn't retain its easiness, shall we say. But yeah, it's a great game, and I'm fully behind the developer on this. Absolutely fantastic. Another game I'm going to be looking at is a homebrew arcade game. Yes, it does exist. And it's amazing. They've done it in the style of a retro game, and it actually works. I'm hoping to do that one sometime this week. And again, it's going... Just support, because if we don't support these developers, we won't see games like this coming down the pipe. So there we go. Brick Rick is absolutely phenomenally fun game. So yes, the fun factor's there. It's one player, but again, you know my thoughts on that. Pass the controller. Lose a life, pass the controller. Try and beat each other's scores. It's there are multiple ways that you can get a one player into a multiplayer. So have a go at that and see how you get on. Replayability, well, it is just one of those games. If you remember back in the day when you had simple games like this, because let's face it, that's all we did have in the 8-bit era, and you know what? It worked. Simplicity wins every time. You know, graphics are one thing. Yes, it's great to look at these graphics and think, wow, that's amazing. Look how lifelike they are. But then, at the cost of playing the game, you know, there is definitely give when it comes to that. But with the Amstrad Spectrum C64, Amiga even, and the Atari, and even the early consoles like the NES and the Master System, even they had to go on simplicity, I would say, when it comes to graphics. The Amiga was probably more like your, and I'm putting this in quotations, arcade machine, because it was capable of being able to do a lot more with what it had. So, but the Amstrad and the Spectrum C64, they didn't have that luxury, so we had to have games that were good. Now I know not every retro game is good, but when you get an absolute prize like this one, oh my god, it makes everything so much worth it. You can play this on disc, emulation, or tape. So if you want to go and grab that from the website, like I said, I'll put a link in the description below, so you can go off and have a play yourself. Let me know in the comments what you think yourself. I mean, it's one thing watching me playing it, but if you're actually playing it yourself, you get much more of a grasp on it. Now remember that the views are always my own personal point of view. So we all have different points of view. There's games that I don't like, and there's games that you do like. Vice versa. So there we are. And it's always nice to hear from fellow retro enthusiasts. So drop me a comment. Come and just drop in and say hello. Always great to hear from you guys. The channel is growing now, which is really nice. So thanks ever so much. I'm starting to get more of a routine going with the channel as well. So that's even better. And I hope you're enjoying the more frequent content, because I know I'm enjoying bringing it to you. So yes, we're coming to the close of the review soon, but I wanted to just say as well, age group for this, well, just any. I mean, 4 or 5 year olds, start with that and work your way up. For all you parents that are retro heads, get your kids involved, get them having a look at what you used to play, and then surprise them by telling them what year this was released. See the expressions on their faces, because they can't quite believe it. Yes, kids don't know they're born these days, do they, folks? But I still maintain retro gaming is the one thing that I do more than I do with modern gaming. You know, we've got PS4, we've got PC games, we've got Switch and all that stuff. But the one thing I come back to over and over again is retro games, because they're just so damn cool. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Have you gone out and downloaded this? Have you supported the devs? Have you any intention of playing this? Let me know. And if you do play it, please let me know what you think. Because like I said, one thing listening to me waffle on and play, but you know, totally different when you get yourself up there and have a go yourself. So, but I fully encourage you to do so. So it just remains for me now to say thank you ever so much for all of your subscriptions. New subscribers, hello to you and welcome to the channel. And for my existing subscribers, you guys are awesome. And without you guys, the channel wouldn't be worth doing. So thanks ever so much for that. And that's about it from me today. I will be bringing you that the game I mentioned earlier, and hope you enjoy that one too. But for now, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be back very soon with a brand new review. I'll give you a few more, couple more minutes of Brick Rick here, and that's been on the Amstrad CPC. I've been Rich, this has been the Retro Revival Show for the 2nd of February, and I will be back very soon. So you all keep it retro, and as usual, it's bye for now!
Incoming transmission.